the ET beings who pilot and navigate these UFO craft are extremely concerned that we are entering into a period here on our planet of an increased probability of a major thermonuclear exchange. The indications are that the ET beings have been coming here to our planet over an extended period of time to basically help harvest genetic material on our planet. They've been gathering samples of the flora and fauna of all the plants and animal life on our planet and potentially bringing this to other places in the galaxy to actually seed life on other planets that are capable of sustaining life, but that have not yet reached the point of gestating their own life. If in fact we were to have a complete thermonuclear exchange on our planet, we would absolutely devastate the genetic material on our planet, which appears to be a major resource. And they are not going to tolerate that.
My name is Danny Sheehan. I'm a constitutional litigator who's worked some of the most important cases in modern American history. From Pentagon Papers, the Watergate scandal, to Iran-Contra. My legal career has led me now to this pivotal moment. As our human family confronts the implications of the existence here on our planet of extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional non-human species. I will be your guide as we dive into the profound philosophical, theological, and public policy questions pertaining to the UFO phenomenon, alien life, and the citizen movement for disclosure. This is the Full Disclosure Podcast, coming to you from the New Paradigm Institute on SpectraVision Radio.
This is the beginning of the 5th week of the official shutdown of our United States government. This is getting ready to be the longest shutdown in history of the United States government since our original founding over 250 years ago. As we enter the 5th week of the shutdown of the United States government, we find the largest hurricane possibly in all of history forming in the Atlantic. It is now destroying a large portion of Jamaica and is headed north to the eastern coast of the United States. At the same time, Donald Trump has now ordered more arrests. He's shaking up the ICE organization and the U.S. Border Patrol. He's unsatisfied with 30,000 arrests every single month and the deportation of 18,000 people from our country. He's also now ordered more major missile strikes against Venezuelan boats that are leaving Venezuela, and he has ordered an entire U.S. aircraft carrier battle group into the waters off Venezuela, preparing for a land invasion, actually, of the Venezuelan government under the purported auspices of fighting drug trafficking. But the fact of the matter is, all the records established that the major influx of the most dangerous drugs are not coming from Venezuela at all. It's perfectly clear that he's preparing for regime change in Venezuela because it's a socialist government here in the Western Hemisphere. We have a president that is taking advantage of the shutdown. He's making moves to engage in unilateral executive discretion to send this aircraft carrier battle group down to Venezuela when Congress isn't even in session. He's not even consulting them. He's in complete defiance of the Constitution. He sent U.S. military forces not only into Los Angeles, but now he sent them into Chicago, Portland, Oregon. He's contemplating sending them into other democratically controlled cities. And at the same time, he has directed the leadership of the Republican National Committee to start redesigning the congressional boundaries for congressional districts for the upcoming 2026 election in order to maximize the probability of him and the extreme right-wing elements of the Republican Party being able to continue to retain control over the House of Representatives. As this proceeds, President Netanyahu of Israel has now just ordered new massive strikes into Gaza, saying that the Hamas has sent to them a false body of one of the purported 13 hostages, the bodies that still remain. And he now is retaliating against Gaza and the citizens of Gaza by ordering a new massive bombing. President Putin of Russia is continuing to bomb the Ukraine. And just 2 days ago, he ordered the major bombing of Kyiv, killing over 24 people and injuring dozens of others, and there's no end in sight. Congressman Eric Burleson, who holds the brief presently in the task force on declassification of government secrets of the House Oversight Committee, continues to prepare his standalone ET and UFO disclosure bill. The New Paradigm Institute is engaged now in mobilizing the Citizens for Disclosure throughout the United States to prepare for the major premiere showing of The Age of Disclosure that will be released on the 21st of November of this year into theaters. On November 29th, we're going to be having a nationwide screening of The Age of Disclosure through our Citizens for Disclosure. We're going to be having gatherings throughout the country in over 100 locations where the Citizens for Disclosure are going to be gathering their friends and neighbors to view this on Amazon Prime. This week, there's been the release of the peer-reviewed paper by Dr. Beatriz Villarroel. She is a scientist who has now conducted a major set of studies which is revealing a high correlation between the spotting of what she perceives to potentially be UFOs through the major plates that are photograph plates that were taken by the Mount Palomar Observatory prior to even the launching of Sputnik in 1957. Catherine Bigelow, the Academy Award-winning director, has just released this week a major new motion picture on Netflix, The House of Dynamite. As the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists has now just recently moved the doomsday clock to only 89 seconds before midnight of a potential massive thermonuclear war on our planet, she has portrayed the kind of state of preparedness that the United States executive branch is in, which shows that we are not at all adequately prepared for the response to any type of potential threat of a nuclear attack on the United States. In this particular movie, one single nuclear missile is launched, and the technology that has been deployed by the United States to try to detect the source of a nuclear missile launch fails, and they can't tell where it's coming from. And they launched an anti-ballistic missile, 2 of them, at the incoming nuclear missile and failed to knock it out. The latest UFO whistleblower, Jozak, has gone on a number of additional podcasts giving further details of the GATE program into which he was admitted as a 9-year-old child back in 2005. So you ask the question is, what is the correlation, if any, between the activities that are going on in the larger world and the disclosure process that's going on here in the United States? Let us lead with the major story of Dr. Villarroel. She has issued this peer-reviewed paper. And let's be clear about what this is. She has reviewed the photographic plates that were photographs taken by the Mount Palomar Observatory all prior to 1957 with the launching of Sputnik, the very first of all the Earth orbiting satellites. And these photographs were taken to try to track the various stars and comets in the universe. But what the plates show is that there were periodic photographs taken that show what she perceives to be a flat, disc-shaped, metallic object reflecting sunlight. She has correlated the photographs with nuclear tests that were conducted between 1952 and 1957, prior to the launching of any satellites that could be mistaken for these objects. She's pointed out that it is 45% more likely for a UFO sighting on these plates on the day and the day after a nuclear explosion on our planet. There seems to be an extremely high correlation between the sightings of UFOs and nuclear weapons sites on our planet. There have been a number of incidents where a UFO will appear over a U.S. Minuteman missile site, for example, up in Montana in 1967, and other places where the UFO has shut off the nuclear missiles entirely. Also, the UFOs have appeared over nuclear aircraft carrier battle groups in the middle of the ocean and shut them down completely, stopping all propulsion, all communications, all electric energy in any of the craft that are associated with the battle group. And also the sighting of numerous instances of UFOs over nuclear power plants. And when in fact you link together the sighting of these anomalous craft with the nuclear explosions on our planet of that day, there is an 89% correlation among these three pieces of data. The sighting of the anomalous, bright, flat, disc-shaped metallic craft in these photographic plates, the nuclear explosion on our planet, and official sightings of Project Blue Book. This is an extraordinarily important application of the scientific method. She is meticulous, trying to find out if there's any kind of correlation between the nuclear weapons programs of our human family and the sightings of UFOs. This is taking place at the same time that the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists has, in fact, moved up the doomsday clock to 89 seconds before midnight, because of the extremely unstable situation that obtains on our planet. The question is, what exactly does it take for people to come alive and start to realize that we are in an extraordinarily dangerous period here on our planet? You have this rather extraordinary correlation between the general news stories that are occurring throughout the world here in this fifth week of the shutdown of our United States government, and the particular information that's flowing with regard to the UFO issue itself, and its direct correlation to the nuclear weapons policies of our country. It appears that our United States government, that is the Congress of the United States, our air traffic controllers, other federal employees that are in place to try to provide any kind of stability to our government, are all being shut down and furloughed or fired by the President of the United States right at the time when all of these people need to be in place to be able to maintain the stability of our government. And you have Russia now continuing the bombing of the Ukraine. And the United States has moved up nuclear missiles all along the western boundary of Russia. President Putin of Russia has instructed his frontline combat commanders to start giving special training to the forces along the military front in the Ukraine in how to deploy tactical nuclear weapons. And he has indicated that the use of nuclear weapons potentially against the governments in Europe is not off the table. This is the nightmare scenario that they've made bad movies about. What we believe is that there are a number of high-level United States government experts who have studied the UFO phenomenon and have been members of the UAP task force in the United States Pentagon, who suspect that one of the reasons that there's such an upsurge in the UFO sightings right now is because the ET beings who pilot and navigate these UFO craft are extremely concerned that we are entering into a period here on our planet of an increased probability of a major thermonuclear exchange, and they are not going to tolerate that. The indications are that the ET beings have been coming here to our planet over an extended period of time to basically help harvest genetic material on our planet. They've been gathering samples of the flora and fauna of all the plants and animal life on our planet and potentially bringing this to other places in the galaxy to actually seed life on other planets that are capable of sustaining life, but that have not yet reached the point of gestating their own life. If, in fact, we were to have a complete thermonuclear exchange on our planet, we would absolutely devastate the genetic material on our planet, which appears to be a major resource, a peaceful resource for the most part of the ET people. There is this one additional element, of course, of the involuntary abducting of certain human beings and an involuntary extraction from them of semen from the men and human egg cells from the women. This is a significant challenge that we have to really come to address in a peaceful way through some sort of a negotiation with these beings. But the indications are now that they are massing now around our planet to try to prevent a thermonuclear exchange. Unless we can get control over what's going on our planet right now in the area of thermonuclear weapons policies, there is potentially a major intervention from the extraterrestrial civilization that surrounds us onto our planet. And this would be a massively disruptive event because the national security state people in the United States and Russia and China have kept this reality of the existence of this extraterrestrial civilization secret. If, in fact, the ET people are forced in their judgment to intervene, that is going to be what the military officials refer to as a catastrophic disclosure of their presence here, because nothing significant has been done to prepare our people for the reality of the intervention of an extraterrestrial species on our planet, because they've been in complete denial publicly, lying to the United States Congress, concealing the information from Congress, stealing and embezzling funds from other military appropriations to fund the secret effort to reverse engineer the technology that they have recovered from the UFO craft to make an additional weapons delivery system for nuclear weapons. They've engaged in trying to develop a thing they call Prompt Global Strike, which is a delivery platform attempting to use the back-engineered propulsion technology of the UFOs that they have captured to figure out how to deliver a nuclear payload into the heart of Russia or China within a matter of a minute or two. So the reason that I'm bringing this information to you here in this 5th week of the shutdown of our United States government is because it appears that we are getting set to go into a period of the shutdown of our government, all except for the executive branch. And the executive branch is taking all of the executive funds and paying for the maintenance of our military, maintaining the border patrol. They're disrupting the cities by sending U.S. military forces, and they're in the process now of attempting to destabilize the entire political order by redistricting all of the major red states to try to get rid of the few remaining Democratic congressional districts in their states so they can take over virtually permanent control of the House of Representatives and the United States Senate, perhaps before they even get back into session. So this is an extraordinarily dangerous period that we're talking about here. I believe, and the New Paradigm Institute believes, and tens of thousands, millions of people, hundreds of millions of people across the planet want to have the revelation of the existence of this extraterrestrial civilization so we can understand why there is this extreme increase in the viewing of UFO appearances around the world right now. I want you to keep an eye on the Jordan Jozak interviews that he's doing. I'm going to be meeting with Jordan this week to evaluate the credibility of what it is that he is saying. But others whom I respect have reviewed him and find him to be a credible person. He is trying to emphasize the importance of our human consciousness and the need to elevate our human consciousness, to come to understand that there's a civilization of extraterrestrial beings in our galaxy who may be 6 to 8 billion years more advanced than we. They've survived their nuclear period. They have also discovered how to raise their consciousness. I want you to compare and contrast the kind of deadly threat that is posed in the motion picture, House of Dynamite, on the one hand, and the activities of Jordan Jozak attempting to elevate our view of our encounter with the UFO beings as a positive opportunity to raise our consciousness and come to a whole golden age of having access to technologies that may in fact eliminate the need for the burning of fossil fuels, the gasoline and petroleum and coal and natural gas that is generating the global climate change. And I know that some of you don't believe that the global climate change is happening, but the fact of the matter is it is. And this is a function of this kind of dialectic that's developed in our country between the red team and the blue team, so that people in the red team can't even believe the statistical information that is in front of us, showing the direct correlation between the burning of fossil fuels into our atmosphere and the ever-increasing intensity of global climate change, facing us right here with potentially the greatest hurricane that's ever occurred on our planet, while our United States government is shut down. This is a very unstable situation. So please go to the New Paradigm Institute.org. Join us in the viewing of the Age of Disclosure, which is going to be publicly released on November 21st. We're going to have a nationwide house gathering and events sponsored by the New Paradigm Institute Citizens for Disclosure. That Saturday evening, November 29th. Find out where your nearest Citizens for Disclosure group is located. Contact us at newparadigminstitute.org. Find out where your local Citizens for Disclosure group is and how you can become a member of Citizens for Disclosure and how you can sponsor one of the showings on Saturday evening, November 29th, of Age of Disclosure, in which 34 of the above top secret government officials who are the most expert in the area of the UFO technology are telling you to your face that this is real and that these UFO beings are here, and the fact that there is a top secret, above top secret, covert program pursuant to which our United States military and our Central Intelligence Agency and intelligence community are attempting to reverse engineer this technology for a fast first strike delivery system. This is an ever-increasing state of potential emergency here, and it requires your direct, immediate attention. This is the Full Disclosure podcast coming to you from the New Paradigm Institute over SpectraVision Radio. Thank you for joining us today. I will see you next week.
To join the citizen movement for disclosure, visit newparadigminstitute.org/take action.